What's up, everyone? This is Roots of Black once again, bringing you the Septuagint. Yes, bringing you the Septuagint. As you see from the title, this is the last video, that we're going to do at this moment for Job. So let's go to Moon Plus Reader Pro. All right, this is chapter 5. Going to highlight it here. All right, it says, "But call, if anyone will hearken to thee, or if thou shalt see any of the holy angels." So, set aside messengers from the Most High, because that's what holy means, set aside. So, you see, and then, that what angels mean, and then, the translation from, Hebrew slash Aramaic doesn't really you know, equal to what was written there about understanding what angels actually means. So we're just going to, they just wrote down what the best that they can do, but it should have been more than just the word angel there. It should have said something angel, like, so, you know, the most high angels, the most highest messenger, something of that nature, because angel means messenger. But when it is saying the way that they're saying it, of how what the Most High is discussing who they are. It goes way beyond it, but it was just the only thing that we could do is translating is to say angel because that's what we called the ones that came from heaven. So that's where you see and wonder where angel is in the book and why it's there. For wrath destroys the foolish one, and envy slays him that has gone astray. That's why, with the do not covet your brother's stuff there. And this is before all of the rules, the laws and the commandments were established. So you can actually see why the laws and commandments were established because of what was going on before the flood and, right after the flood of why things had to be established because that was thousands of years of mankind doing what they wanted to do, destroying everything they touched. So rules had to be established in order for that not to happen again. And of course, when you don't follow the rules, which means the law and the commandments, which means that you're not going to live long upon the land. And if you do, it's not going to be great. So that's why they were established for everyone to finally do what is correct on the earth. And of course, they decided not to because that's why the earth is what it is today. And there's no more grace period after this one. There's no more sending away. Once you die from this point or you get to the point to meet him, you're done. There's no more sending you away. You're going to be judged right there. You're going to get mercy or judgment. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's all. Mercy or judgment. I have seen the foolish one taking root, but suddenly their habitation was devoured. So, like stupid people taking roots. I thought I heard my door. Give myself a second. Okay, that wasn't all right. And let their children be far from safety, and let them be crushed at the doors of the vile man, and let there be no deliverer. So, this is the beginning of the understanding of some of the stuff that was said later on from the prophets, because let their children be far from safety. Remember, it was telling that because of what you've done, your children will be destroyed by the sword, which means that they're far from safety if they're going to be destroyed by the sword. From what they have collected, the just shall eat, but they shall not be delivered out of calamities. Let their strength be utterly exalted. So, like I say, life is a test. You're learning this right now through Job. Life is a test. For labors cannot by any means come out of the earth, nor shall trouble spring out of the mountains. So it says, for labors cannot by any means come out of the earth, nor shall trouble spring out of the mountains. It's just that simple. Yet man is born to labor. So that's what I'm saying. That's what you are. You're born to labor. All men and women born to labor, but the labor is different between the two. Even so, the vulture's young seek the high places. Like, doesn't matter what going. This is just the way it is. What are you going to do? You can't change it. Nevertheless, I will beseech the Lord, and then will call upon the Lord, the sovereign of all. Because this is just because this is the way it is doesn't mean that someone that I'm not going to call upon the person who made it that way to try to, even if I don't understand it, to listen directly to what he says, just follow him and then figure it out as we go along. Because I'm doing what he says, even though if I don't understand. Because that's the problem with the majority of human beings is that they lost that touch and understanding. Because remember, you as a child, when your mother or father told you to do something, most of us did it. All of us didn't, but most of us did it with not even understanding, but you still did it because you did it for two reasons. Because you know that person is telling you love you, and you're doing it because you wanted to make them proud of you. That's lost now. That is all gone. Who does great things and untraceable, glorious things also, and marvelous, of which there is no number. Who gave rain upon the earth, sending waters to the earth? This is what Abraham was talking about to his father, because they was a Chaldean, and he set himself aside, and of them, and the Messiah, Most High set him aside from everyone else because he decided to do it first. Just this is what it is. Like that's how you become who you are, that you look at all of the earth and you see that they're all doing wrong, and you decide to do what's right. You set yourself aside. You pick this book up because they didn't have the book then. They just understood something was wrong and decided to start figuring out what is right. And that's why, they were sent angels and stuff like that to help them determine what is right. You aren't getting them, any of them. So you have your own guide, which is the book. You have the word of the Lord right there to guide you in every step of the way. It is your choice whether you want to do it or not. Okay. Who exalts the lowly and rises them up that are lost? Frustrated the counsel of the crafty, and their hand shall not perform the truth. Oh, there's another one that I need to fix. I like who takes the wise in their wisdom and subvert the counsel of the crafty. In the darkness shall come in the day of darkness shall come upon them, and let them that grope in noonday as if in night. That's what this is what it was talking about when they were I can't remember, was it Samuel when it was, you know, out when they was there when he punished them, he sent them away, said they're gonna grope in the oh yeah, in the day and the night. This is understanding, more the beginning of that, of where it came from, and then it gets passed on. Remember, Job, but this book is really, really old. And let them that perish in war, and let the weak escape from the hands of the mighty. And least the weak have hope, but the mouth of the unjust be stopped. But blame, but blessed is the man whom the Lord has reproved, and rejected not the chastenings of the Almighty. So this is what I'm saying. You're supposed to be chastised. You're supposed to be beaten if you're wrong. So listen, it says, "But blessed is the man who the Lord has reproved." And so, same thing. You reprove His word, and He reproves you to see if you are truly who you say you are. Because anybody can say what they want. That's what Job was understanding, that he's being reproved of who he truly is. Anyone can say what they want to say. You have to prove this. That's why the Most High says, "Reprove my word," which means you're supposed to go back and see and make sure it's true, but you don't because you don't believe the way you're supposed to. And it says, "And reject not thou chastising of the Almighty." Like I say, so when you're beaten, you don't reject it, because if you did something wrong, take it like a man or a woman. For the cause of a man to be in pain and restores him again, he smites and heals his hand. This is just the way it is. I'm just telling you. You're in a test and a trial. 6 times he delivered thee out of distress, and in the seven harm shall not touch thee. So there you go. In famine he shall deliver thee from death, and in war he shall free thee from the power of the sword. He shall hide thee from the scourge of the tongue, and thou shalt not be afraid of coming evil. This is how you after you've been reproved. As we just saw there. Thou shalt laugh at the unrighteous and the lawless, and thou shalt not be afraid of the wild beast. And you see, this is this because remember it says this he's wisest amongst all men and this and that. You do know, like if you see this here, he has basically the same spirit as King Solomon when he wrote Proverbs. See it, right? You see it. That's what I'm saying. You're supposed to see and understand that everything connects. This is how you know that this is written by or inspired by the same author. That everything connects. For the wild beasts of the field should be at peace with thee. So there's people, that are around animals and stuff like that. That they see them, they flee. They're not there to attack them. I'm just telling you this. Happens all the time. There's people that go outside and befriend all sorts of animals. Like I'm talking about in the woods, not dogs and cats. They're already adjusted and used to being around people. I'm talking about like he has a bear friend. I'm just telling you this. I tell people that all the time. If I have to leave in a tent, I probably have a bear friend. And I call him Yogi or Boo Boo, and I just say, "Hey, Boo Boo." Every time I see him, let's go get the picnic baskets. We be in the parks robbing people for picnic baskets. And his name will be Boo Boo, and I would sleep on him. I have my own giant teddy bear, because that's how I feel about the Most High. And this is even before this was even brought back to my attention again. So that's what I'm saying. Like you'll be at so much peace when you get to a certain point. Then shalt thou know thy house shall be at peace, and thy provision for thy turbulence shall not fail. So like whenever there's a problem, turbulence. Oh, for thy tabernacle, I said turbulence. I'm tripping. For thy provision for thy tabernacle should not fail. But that's the setting up of you with the Lord. The Lord has a tabernacle that he sets up with the people that he wants to. And once he does that, no one can take you out of him. No one. And thou shalt know that thy seed shall be abundant, and thy children shall be like the herbage of the field. And if thou shalt come to the grave like a ripe corn, ripe in its season, or as a heap of corn, flour collected in the proper time. So, like I say, you're going to go there in the ripe old age. That's what it's saying. You're going to go down there in the ripe old age when you do what you're supposed to. Behold, we have thus sought out these matters. These are what we have heard, but do thou reflect with thyself if thou hast done anything wrong. That's the issue with the majority of everyone I know, especially Christians. They believe that they could just pray it away or they're forgiven for all their sins, so they don't even reflect on trying to be better people. Even if you're wrong and he's going to forgive you, you still should do. I've always tried to figure out every day, even though if I can never be perfect, and I'm never going to not sin and break one of these laws and commandments. I still try every day to reflect upon and see how I can do better. See how I can do better because I have done a lot of wrong, especially in my younger life. When I was a child, I thought as a child. Now that I'm a man, I'm trying to think as a man, and I'm getting older. The voice is aging, the body's aging. I'm getting closer every day to meeting my maker. I'm trying to go there, doing the best I possibly could. This is your man from heaven. Hallelujah.